you need that care, you need that attention. So there's one nurse, I remember, and she was just something amazing. She would come in and she would go beyond the call of duty. She would ask us, how are things going, and really find out what is it that I can do. And it was to the point where we felt that she really wanted to help us. And she was the one who, showed us some of the things that we really needed to know in that situation. And when we look back and we look at that whole experience, we think about the services that she did. It can really bring tears to our eyes. Now, she wasn't even a Muslim, I don't think. But when I look back, I see that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was channeling His mercy and compassion through this lady. This was an act of God. She was a channel. There was no difference. If I wanted the mercy of God, if I look back and I can say, oh God, I thank you for your help at that time because you showed me your mercy, I can say that, and I can say that that woman showed me her mercy because it's one and the same thing. Allah was channeling, He was displaying His perfection through that woman to a certain extent. Now, brothers and sisters, let's step back and look at the position of those individuals whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said that these individuals, I'm identifying to you as people who not only reflect part of my perfection from time to time. Okay, like this teacher who performed that act of heroism, he showed some courage and some strength, but he's not like that all the time. This wasn't a random act. But there are some individuals who show the perfection of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at all times, and they show it to the maximum extent. And these are the prophets, and these are the Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. You see, when we say that someone like Imam Ali alayhi salam has perfection, that we can get things from him, we can ask him for something, we should know that what we're asking from him is nothing but the thing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given him access to. And this is what we find within the testimony of these prophets and the Ahlul Bayt themselves. For example, if you go to the Quran, you'll see that when the Prophet Jesus, Nabi Isa alayhi salam, he was able to do amazingly extraordinary acts. He could heal, he could restore eyesight to blind people, he could bring dead people to life. But when he's doing these acts, he makes sure to tell people that I'm doing this with the permission of my Lord. It's with the permission of my Lord, meaning that everything that I have, it's from God. It's not from me. If you ask me, I know nothing. I don't do anything. It's what God has enabled me to do. That's allowing me to perform such amazing, extraordinary acts. Or you look at the case of Imam Ali alayhi salam. As the brother, first of all I want to commend the brothers who recited the poetry. One of the brothers mentioned about the battle of Khaybar. You know that we all learned from when we were kids that Imam Ali Islam performed an amazing act of bravery and strength in Khaybar. And what happened was that, this was a fortress, there was a gate, there was sort of, they would close the fortress up. And after Imam Ali Islam had fought the Marhab, the champion of the Jewish people who were enclosed in that fortress, afterwards he loses his shield. So he needs a shield, and history reports, this isn't just fairy tales, historical reports, multiple historical reports that all Muslims accept, even non-Muslims, they report that he needed a shield, so he sees the gate, and so he rips it off of its hinges and he uses it as a shield. And later on he tosses it aside, and there's 10 strong men who go and try to move that gate from the ground and put it on the side, and they're not able to move it. So this was an amazing act. Now sometimes people stop there and they say that, okay, wow, Imam alayhi salam, look at the strength of Imam Ali alayhi salam. He's a pretty powerful figure. But later on they went back and they asked him about, that what you did in Khaybar. Can you just tell us, how exactly could you possibly do such an amazing thing? And this is what he says. He says, Wallahi, ma qala'atu baba Khaybar biquwwatin jasadaniyatin wala biharakatin ghadaiyatin walakinni أيدت بقوة ملكية ونفس بنور بارئها مضيئة. He said that I swear by Allah that I did not rip that gate from its hinges with bodily strength, but rather I was assisted with divine power, and it was as a result of a soul that was shining with the light of its Lord. So what Imam al-Islam is saying here is that power that I have, don't think it's my own. If you're looking to understand how it is that Allah operates through the Ahlul Bayt, He's saying here that understand that what's coming from us is the manifestation of the perfection of Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is revealing Himself to you through our actions and through our characteristics. There is no difference. If you want to get to Allah, look at what we have, and this is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it makes very logical sense, brothers and sisters. When we understand this, then we understand why. We understand why when we call upon Imam Ali alayhi salam, why we're told to call upon him, why we even call upon him. Like when we recite the dua, the Ilahi Azam al-Bala that brothers and sisters have heard before, we say, Ya Muhammadu Ya Ali. Some people take objection to this because they don't have the understanding. They say that, wait a minute, why didn't you call upon Allah? No, brother, we are calling upon Allah. We say, Ya Muhammadu Ya Ali, Ya Ali Ya Muhammad, O Muhammad, O Ali, O Ali, O Muhammad. Ikfiyani, fa'innakuma kafiyan. Suffice for me. Come and take care of my situation. Help me with my problems, because you are the ones who are able to take care of the situation. Wansurani, help me out. فَإِنَّكُمَا نَاصِرَانِ. You are able to help out. You have that capability. So that help and that kifaya, that being sufficient, that feeling of self-sufficiency and that help isn't their own help. It's the help that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is channeling through them. Or there's a famous poem that is reporting a hadith that the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in the battle of Uhud, after Imam Ali Islam displayed so much bravery, and there was a cry heard from the skies, La fata illa Ali, la sayf illa dhul fiqar, that there is no young person like Ali, no warrior like Ali, there is no sword like dhul fiqar. Then the Prophet is reporting hadith that he said this line of poetry. He says, Nadi aliyan madhar al-ajaib, tajiduhu awnan laka fin nawaib, kullu ghammin wa hammin sayanjali, biwilayatika ya Ali, ya Ali, ya Ali. Call upon Ali. Call upon Ali. He is the display of wondrous things. Now, with our understanding, we can say, what are those wondrous things? It's the attributes of Allah. It's the qualities of Allah that are being displayed through Imam Ali alayhi salam. تَجِدُهُ عَوْنًا لَكَ فِي النَّوَائِبِ. You will find him is helper when difficult times come about. كُلُّ غَمٍ وَهَمٍ سَيَنْجَلِي. Every grief and every worry will be removed بِوِلَايَتِكَ, by the protection and the guardianship of Ali. This is the status the Ahlul Bayt reached. You see, brothers and sisters, that they were like, if you want to know an analogy, you can say that they had so much perfection and they displayed so many qualities and attributes of perfection. But it's kind of like a mirror. You can have a mirror that reflects something, and they are full-length mirrors for the perfection of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They are reflecting the perfection of Allah. And we should be thankful for them. Why are we here? Why do we, if everything they have is from Allah, then why do we acknowledge them? Why should we gather here tonight and remember them? It's because, and this is the last point I'll make before we go to the Masahib inshallah. It's because, brothers and sisters, that what they have for us is the most important need that we can possibly have. What is it that we cannot get from the Ahlul Bayt, you could say? Everything that we ever aspire for in our lives can be found in them and from them. And so, if they are the ones who are responsible for taking me from the darknesses into the light, then I should, in response, have nothing but love and utter appreciation for where they are and what they have done. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has chosen them as the means to deliver His guidance, His light, His perfection to me. Brothers and sisters, we've gathered here tonight to commemorate the Shahada, the martyrdom of Imam Ali alayhi salam. with that understanding.